Alright, I'm back. I have to boot up the PTR quickly. And then we can start our final best of 5 of the night. Hopefully one that has a lot of potential. I think it's hard to predict as well, obviously as it should be. Especially because it's PvP, it's PTR. I don't know how many games these guys have played yet on this version in PvP. PvP is definitely different. Battery overcharge removal is massive in this matchup. And it really changes things. I am online. I just need to make sure that, yep, they are already in a game. Do I have the right overlay? I do. Sick. I'm here. It's me. Mouse, I use a glorious Model D 2 Pro. Model D and then 2 Pro. It is wireless, but I use it with the wire because I'm not really bothered by the wire. And then I don't have to worry about charging it and stuff. I'm actually very happy with this mouse. I was in search of a new mouse for a very long time. After being a lover, I'll let them know I'm ready. I was a massive lover of the old school Death Adder. Then I was a lover of the Death Adder Chroma. But the Death Adder 2 wasn't really for me, and the Death Adder V3 was better. But still not really for me. Still just a little bit too slippery. And then Glorious was kind enough to send me a keyboard and a mouse. And suddenly I started using this. I was like, oh, it feels good. Yeah, I love everything about it. I love it in Deadlock. I love it in Starcraft. Very happy with this mouse. Alright. Let's do it. As we're going to kick things off on one of the greatest StarCraft 2 maps in history. Abyssal Reef. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Round 1. Fight.
The bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who's been living in the Netherlands for almost 3 years. He is representing the boys in blue, Team Liquid. This is SKillous. Was enjoying the games earlier in the chat. Always makes me happy when some of the guys who play in the Big Brain Bouts are also here to hang out and comment about some of the other games. In the top left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who said there is a new Astrea in town. He now wakes up before 10 AM, so we don't have to worry about sleepy Astrea anymore. A couple of weeks ago in the main event, it did not go his way at all. He lost 3-0 against HeroMarine rather quickly. But today, he is a new man. Let's see what we can do in PvP. This is Max Angel, Astrea. I still have a tiny bit of a cheeky beer, guys. I'll take a cheeky beer. And a probe heading out for Astrea. Both players opening up a double gate. This is a map where you can say there is a ramp leading into the natural, but there's obviously a different route into the natural as well. So it's not really a ramp map. Or maybe they don't believe in one gate on this patch. That's also possible. We know that some absolutely do. I did not see Astrea against MaxPax, but yeah, Astrea did 2-0 MaxPax in the most recent KSR Cup on the Monday night. Did not get to see those games. I didn't catch the replays. I don't know who has them. Could have asked for it, but I didn't. So that's obviously that's a big win. You can say if you can 2-0 Max, you can probably beat SKillous as well, but that kind of logic doesn't really work in StarCraft 2. SKillous is an incredibly good player. He said he was excited to play in the Big Brain Bouts. Just loves having something to look forward to. And I'm sure that he's going to be at Homestar Cup. I think he's even been announced already. Don't think Astrea is coming. It's obviously a very long journey from the West Coast. I think he has no team at the moment. Maybe in the future. The Roddy Villa always looks so cozy. Not a villa, mate. I do my best. I try to make the best of what I have and try to make it look fun and cute. I know that I'm not getting any cuter as time goes by. Every single week I have people stopping by. Wow, you look so old. Last time I saw you, it was 2011. It's like, well, yeah, that's 13 years ago, mate. Like, I look different. Sure, it'd be fun to still look like I was 24, but that's kind of hard. That's not really how modern time works. But we can make the rest look cute. I think we do a good job in that. SKillous has gone for the Robo. So 2-gate opening with a Nexus and a Robo. Astrea is going for the Twilight Council. This map is Abyssal Reef. It is one of the old maps that I put in the rotation for fun. Every week I try to bring 3 old maps back. This map is pretty goated. And honestly, it's just a very, very good map. It has been the home of some of the best games that I think we've ever seen in the past. I remember some legendary TVTs in Katowice with innovation. People come by and say you're looking good. Maybe when you're here, you bring good vibes. When you're not here, I have people telling me that I got old. I look old. When do we see Zelnaga Cavern? I don't know if I will. Oh, careful! Will. That's not good. Astrea recall. Yeah. Still loses one. Perhaps Sleepy Astrea is still around. Because that was not the play. And he knows it. And I left the sentries behind. But sentries can actually fight adepts these days. Obviously, there's not that much micro potential in sentries. Drop some force fields then, mate. If you drop some force fields, you'd be okay. No, he's definitely going to lose one. Let it. Guardian shield. Oh, high ground. No, yes, no. Saves it. Yes, still saves it. Oh my goodness. What a save by Astrea. Does end up losing one of the other sentries, but still a legendary save. Needs to be careful that he doesn't lose everything in the end. It's mostly SKillous who's ending up losing a lot of units here. Got a tiny bit too excited for that chase. Pays a pretty hefty price for it. Well done by Astrea. Now maybe Astrea is going to chase a little bit too for you. Fight. I think you could have fought that. Absolutely, you could have fought that. Oh, that's a shame. Distracted guys by 2 adepts that were harassing in the main base and now shaded into the natural. This game is turning into a bit of a nightmare for SKillous. It started off good. A force field, a free stalker. And not even a minute later, he's probably wondering, how did we end up like this? Why am I the one who has lost 12 probes? Why am I the one who's attacking with a single immortal and nothing else? Jesus, these adepts are still going. That's unbelievable. They're still going. 2 adepts have now killed 15 workers. Make it 16. Make it 17. Will probably end up being 19. No, he misclicked. Hello? Okay. He misclicked. He could have made it 19. Instead, it is 17. That's still obviously sick. SKillous is never going to kill 17 probes with his 2 adepts on the other side of the map. Thank you, Mixar. You really want Zelnaga Caverns. I can toss it in next week. We have one more Big Brain Bouts before we take the week off because it's Home Story Cup week and obviously I cannot do it from Germany. Next week we can do Vani Research Station. I really like that suggestion. Zelnaga Caverns and Death Aura or something like that. SKillous feels that he's just too far behind, taking too much damage, does not believe he can turn this one around. This is Starcraft, a brutal game. You get a force field, you get a stalker, you're like, ah, sick. You see the sentries, you're like, ah, I can chase. And not even 2 minutes later, you're just so freaking far behind that you want to give up. GG. Astrea already did better than he did a couple weeks ago as he takes the 1-0 lead. And build order wise, by the way, this actually really had some potential for SKillous. Quick 3 bases with a Twilight opening for Astrea, while SKillous went 2 base with the Robo. This should have been good. Now, this is the PTR, PD. Instead of hosting on the regular Battle.net with the PTR mod, now we're playing on the actual PTR. Remember Submarine? I do. Because SKillous said that he is down to play on Central, so that's simple. If he wants to play Central and we don't have to host Europe because there's 2 Europeans playing, then we can just do PTR and play on Central. And give you guys a slightly better interface. Yep, we're on the PTR server. Previously, we were on the regular server but hosted the PTR mod. Now we're on the PTR server. But obviously everything was on the new patch tonight. I was in the wrong channel. I was in the KSR Cup channel. In game 2 will be played on one of the new maps that is not available on. This is also why we just went to this server, not just for the interface. But 2 of the new maps are not available on the regular Battle.net. This is one of them. Is the mod used on... It's something with potato. Believe it or not. It's like potato mod updated 2.0 or something like that. No, it's the right one. Trust me. Can you please tell me? I don't know because we're on the PTR right now, so I don't know. But it is the right version. It's something called potato whatever. Up. Game 2. Friday night, video gaming. I'm still happy with that game 5 of Young Yakov Art. That was just... That's the kind of Starcraft that I look for.
Round 2. Fight!
Top right side of Snowpiercer taking the 1-0 lead. The 2 adapts dealing devastating damage and also just a really great save. After a misclick with the Stalkers, getting forced to within, losing one, just turning it all around by his opponent, getting too carried away, he punishing it, great micro. All around great stuff coming out of the man from San Diego, California. This is Astrea. Bottom left side of Snowpiercer, we are looking at the main base of our new Flying Dutchman. Perhaps give it another year or two, and I am sure maybe I'll be happily married in the Netherlands. It'll be something. This is SKillous. If he ever does get married in the Netherlands, I expect a wedding invite. I want to be there. By the way, tonight is not the night that the Netherlands are playing, right? We play tomorrow against Hungary. Okay. Holland is playing. And Spain. Tomorrow, great entertainment. Versus Hungary. A must-win game. Tonight is Mike Tyson night? Okay, so I also thought that was tomorrow, but I guess they don't want... Maybe they don't want to do it on the same night as the UFC. So it's like deep into the middle of the night. I don't know if I'm going to be awake for that, but maybe I'll watch. Somebody said a couple hours ago that the main card would start in 7.5 hours. I have no idea even what the main card is other than the main event. Maybe I can play some late night Deadlock and somehow stay awake, but it's gonna be tough. Does the main card start in 5 hours, or is it Mike Tyson against Jake Paul in 5 hours? But if they say it starts in 5 hours, it starts in 5 hours and 55 minutes, by the way. Boxing is literally never, ever on time. Ever. I remember watching some of these boxing nights in Saudi Arabia. Like Tyson Fury fights at 1 AM and it's like 2:45 and I'm still waiting. I'm like, oh my god. Can they just be honest for once? Double stalker opening on both sides. As Astrea is the one who's a little bit sharper. He's the one who's going to get a couple hits off. And he kills the first stalker immediately by SKillous. There is of course that side blocker here with the steam, but that still should have not been that easy. If they say it's at 4 AM, mate, don't actually believe that it's 4. Remember these words. If any of you guys are eagerly waiting tonight and you're like, alright, it's supposed to start, it won't start for like another 45 minutes. I think if you're European, you can probably go to bed and just wake up early and then still watch Tyson against Jake Paul. There's no undercard, right? So maybe they're gonna drag the walk-in out for another 40 minutes. I feel like it's almost like just it's the strategy, right? It's like, if we tell people it starts at this time, they will all tune in, and then more people tune in because they start talking about it, and we'll get more viewers. But it will definitely not start when they tell you it starts. SKillous has nothing in position to deal with an Oracle. What are we doing, Nikita? That Oracle is real. We've got no shield battery. Stalkers and sentries are a little bit late. It's 5 workers, but not the PvP series so far for the man from Team Liquid. I think we can say that much. I don't mind. Oh, he gets in there, but he gets denied. Walked in very deep. Astrea saw the adepts, had time to react. Now brings the oracles home. And what? Obviously, Robo against target is not maybe the dream, but... Oh. Well, work account 35 against 35. I guess we can live with it. But Astrea, his blink is also already halfway done. Well, SKillous his blink, if he goes blink, it's still gonna take a long time. And it's hard to imagine that the two oracles of Astrea won't take damage. What Astrea should do here is swap the order around, exactly like that. Maybe one more. I would click this oracle a little bit further to the right. You never want to be leading the charge with your low HP oracle. SKillous, by the way, does not go blink. We'll actually go for a Zealot charge +1. Could be some immortals, a Zealot charge, sentries, and just attack. Can also be a tree-based setup with like Zealot Arc on the immortal. And just try to create an invincible army that Astrea can't really micro against. But it's going to be tough. Okay, honestly, I wouldn't even hate a blink on this immortal. Blink is done. He's going in really deep. SKillous tries to save it. Now he actually committed though. If you would have blinked immediately, maybe it would have been better. But Astrea is not worried about the remaining firepower of this tiny Protoss army. And he's not wrong. How was that trade in the end? Astrea needs to be paying attention here because a couple of the Stalkers are low. So 4 Stalkers for 3 Stalkers, a Centaur and an Immortal. Yeah. That's a good trade for Astrea, who actually killed 1 Stalker earlier. So it's 1 Immortal, 2 Stalkers, and a Sentry. I'd still take it. If I was Astrea, I'd still take it. If Stipe beats Jones and Tyson beats Jake, I will consider. That's also what I kind of hope for, but I don't think that will happen. Even though I like John Jones. I know John Jones has a bad past and he made mistakes, but I like John Jones, I like Stipe too. But I also like underdogs winning. Stipe is a big underdog. I also feel people are a little bit disrespectful towards Stipe now. I think one of the two will do it. I just don't know which one. Jones is not ducking Espinal. He's just playing it up. That fight will be very big. If Jones would have just sat here and be like, yeah, I'll fight Espinal next, then people are like, oh, he's probably going to win. But now the entire world thinks that he's afraid of fighting Espinal. Then he's going to fight Espinal anyway, and he's going to destroy him. It's smart. And it's a way bigger fight. SKillous is setting up for his 2 base attack. He's down 15 workers. He's down an entire base. He's got a more powerful army. And he's gonna have to micro like a Dutch god. Oracle gets another revelation of means the observer is revealed. Actually, losing your ops here is a very big deal because now you have to worry about stasis traps. SKillous is gonna have the stronger army, maybe a slightly bigger army, but honestly not by a whole lot. Losing the Prism would be the beginning of the end immediately. Losing an Immortal too quickly would be the beginning of the end. This is it, guys, for all the marbles here in Game 2. I don't think that SKillous can do it, but he's going to try to prove me wrong, and I love it. A couple of hallucinated Archons after he killed the Observer. That's kind of cute. But SKillous' main army is still more powerful. That's something Astrea has to keep in mind. Astrea makes a little blink to the left side, but the Zealots are going to town on those probes in the natural. So far, it's kind of good for SKillous, but I think you need Zealot here. You cannot chase, you cannot chase. No, go back. Exactly, I think Astrea was baiting out. The Immortal's going too deep, so he gets one of them. And now it's only 1 Immortal remaining. I think that's a big problem. It's a very big problem, because if Astrea snipes this final Immortal, the rest of the army is not that good against Blink Stalkers. I don't think it's going good enough for SKillous, guys. SKillous needed more. He was too greedy there. He had to protect those 2 Immortals like they were his firstborn babies to have a shot. Maybe he felt he didn't have the time to play slow and steady, but that chase was not good. He also had no idea at first about all these batteries, to be fair. I think Astrea has done it. As long as Astrea does not take the worst fight ever or forgets how to micro, I think he's done it. Every second that goes by is a good one for the American. 1 Archon down, a 2nd Archon down. That Immortal, the barrier is active. These final Zealots, and SKillous knows it. This is no longer winnable. GG. The man who took out MaxPax a couple days ago, 2-0. Now takes the 2-0 lead over SKillous. And he's just kind of looking sharper. Honestly, he is just looking sharper. I offered SKillous, Central, Europe, Central. It's obviously up to him to decide whether or not he wants that. If he says like, no, I just want to stay in the PTR, that's what we do. But I think it's more fair if it's West Coast against Europe, that 4 games are on Central, but 1 game on Europe. Because all 5 on Central, I do think favors the West Coast player. I think this is as fair as I can make it. These are not tournament rules, these are my rules. I just go based on my own experience and knowledge of the internet. Okay, after a decade, Protoss just play Blink Stalker. Why having a brain? Smiley face. That's a great contribution to the chat, mate. That's like complaining about Terrans still building Marines after a decade, or Zerglings, or for the Zerg after a decade. That's so silly. SKillous does not want to go to Europe for Game 3. Astrea does say that he needs to reboot his computer. XD, sure, bro. Why exactly, mate? Like, I don't know if you're trolling or if you're serious. Are you actually upset that people still build Blink Stalkers after 10 years? Like, why would they not be allowed to build the core unit? That's crazy. Are we angry over Marines? Are we angry over Zerglings? Are we angry over Medevacs? Like, after a decade, there are still Medevacs. I see them in all 3 matchups, guys. I mean, we can always complain about something, don't get me wrong, but complaining about Protoss building Stalkers honestly feels a little silly to me. Sometimes I feel that people live in a world where a race does not have 9 or 10 or 11 units. But based on their logic, there are like 700 units to choose from. And they're still building that 1 unit after 10 years. It's like, you know, the option is kind of limited. There's many different ways you can play them. There are many different orders you can get to where you want to go. Moving around, etc. But it's not like the options are infinite, you know. There's only X amount of units that you can start off with. You take it from there. Imagine looking at a chessboard and you're like, ha! I've seen this guy play for 6 years and he's still being protective over his queen. Honestly, kind of lame. And look at that, he's still moving his rogues around and his bishops. Boring. Well, okay. Be angry, I guess, well. These hatches, guys, these pylons. Queens are very powerful in chess. I'd say slightly more powerful than they are in Starcraft. Even though we've seen them in Starcraft 2 for a long time, we'll still see them for a while. We're just waiting, guys, for Astrea to reboot his computer. I hope that SKillous can bring it back a little bit. I do believe that SKillous has the skills to turn this around. Obviously, best of 5. Sometimes they're awesome, sometimes they are one-sided. SKillous and Astrea, I think, are close enough in skill that even if Astrea wins 3-0 here and are close in an easy series, the next time they play, it could really go SKillous' way. But there's also a chance that Astrea might just be better on the new maps, on the new patch, who knows. But 1 best of 5 is not enough for me to make that statement. I do hope that we get to see a little more of these two, because SKillous Astrea should have a lot of potential, and so far it's just kind of all Astrea punishing SKillous in the early game, SKillous making some beauty errors, chasing too far in game 1, taking way too much damage from the adepts, and game 2 obviously the 2 base attack, he was already in a bit of trouble. Tiny bit unlucky maybe with Robo against Stargate, but he was also out of position for the first Oracle, and if the first Oracle doesn't kill 5 probes, the game will probably look a bit different. Could be our final series of the night. I hope it's not. I hope we get a little more Starcraft. But even if it is, I still think we had a fun Friday. Alrighty. I'm happy with it. I hope you guys are happy with it. It was Twitch payday. So congrats to all the Twitch streamers out there. I hope last month was awesome. I love the payday. It's just happy. We've got 2. It always feels good. Paydays are fun. Game 3 between these two in the main event, where the winner gets $150, the loser gets $50, and that is of course provided by Basilisk. We have loaded in 2 ley lines. Can this man turn things around? I hope so. I'm not saying that I want him to win, but win game 3, win maybe game 4. They made the best man win in game 5.
Round 3. Fight.
Top right side, representing Team Liquid, one of the players that will be attending the Home Story Cup at the end of this month. This is SKillous. In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of perhaps the greatest Protoss that the USA has to offer these days. I guess that's kind of undisputed. This is Astrea. When it comes to North American Protoss, I think we have to give some love to our Canadian Protoss from Basilisk. I know a lot of people would still favor Astrea, but I think it's very close between Trigger and Astrea if they both play a lot, and especially when they go head to head. What's my tip for Hungary against the dwarves of the football nations in the Netherlands? You hating, mate. I think we're gonna win. What city does the Netherlands play in tomorrow? I feel like we always play bad in Amsterdam. We're good in RotterdaM, pretty good in Enschede and Eindhoven, but we're bad in Amsterdam. So as long as we don't play in the arena, we will be cooking. Arena, I should say. Arena. I don't know where they play. You tell me which city they play and I'll let you know the score. But I'm sure we're going to win. We have a good team right now. We do play in the arena. Ay caramba. Okay, then it's gonna be a garbage game. But we'll win either 1-0 or 2-1. If it was in Rotterdam, it'd be 5-0. You're a product of your own environment, guys. And Rotterdam just oozes greatness, while Amsterdam oozes mediocrity. It's tough to excel in a place like that. Interesting wall-off over here, by the way, guys, by Astrea. You guys like it? I don't know what I'm looking at. I know I've seen it before. It feels weird to me. Astrea is going for a very quick Stargate in his main. Obviously, those oracles dealt a lot of damage. I am sure that Astrea would not mind a very quick, clean 3-0 after losing 3-0 against Gabe a couple weeks ago in the main event. He wants to set the record straight. Wait, it's a Phoenix opening. Is he doing that for me? I hope he knows that he never has to entertain me. Wait, he could go for the Dutch elevator, guys. There is a play that I am a very big fan of, where you open up with the depths, and then your Phoenix lifts the probe that's on patrol here, and then your adepts can shade in. I call it the Dutch elevator. It obviously only works if you have 2 adepts, not 1. Is Vicky a Netherlands native? What do you mean exactly? Vicky was born in Bulgaria. She lived in Bulgaria for 20 years. Then she moved to the Netherlands to study. And she's been here ever since. One adept is gonna shade in. Kills the first probe. Kills the second probe. SKillous, let's not lose 3. Oh. Out of the 3 games, this is the best start so far for SKillous. Do you prefer the Netherlands or Holland? I am not passionate about it at all. But the correct way to say it is the Netherlands. Even though I live in the part that would be considered Holland. I live in Zuid-Holland. But it doesn't matter to me. Both is fine. People who get angry or upset over those things have too much time on their hands. Now, Vicky is not born in the Netherlands. Born in Bulgaria. Grew up in Bulgaria. Studied in Bulgaria and then studied in the Netherlands. And now this is a Bulgarian household in Zuidland, where I say every day to everyone I see, lekker nost. And that's all I got. And something imam. But not gonna go there. But I lekker nost everybody, guys. One leftover adept from SKillous. Actually getting some decent work done. That's a lot of lost mining time. Also forcing the Phoenixes back. I kind of like this start for SKillous. Astrea is not playing Phoenix Zealot. He has gone for Phoenix Robo. If SKillous doesn't take too much damage from these Phoenixes, just gets a bunch of Stalkers, maybe go up to 3 bases, he should be fine, though. Is it also okay to call it Belgium? You cannot compare the Netherlands and Belgium, mate. The building is your SKillous. You really don't need to attack that. Phoenix is doing some good work, and it is important to mention that I think Phoenix openings got a tiny bit better on this patch because of energy recharge. There are so many other moments where your Phoenixes are out of energy. Now you can give it 100 energy that will still allow you to kill 2 probes rather quickly. Your brother wants to move to the Netherlands if you can one day. I don't know. You should tell your brother to talk to Reynor. The Netherlands is not a bad place, but it's also not really exciting or fun. The weather is pretty miserable. It's solid. If you're looking for a solid and away from the big cities, I would say it's pretty safe. The Netherlands is a fine option. I think there are better choices out there if you do your homework. Also, the taxes are very high here. SKillous has a little Stalker Sentry hit squad. I don't really love the idea of being aggressive with a mediocre 2-base economy. He's now gonna blink in. The Phoenixes are on the right side. There's 3 Phoenix left. You wanna be careful. You don't wanna get lifted. A force field goes down, so we pull out some Wings of Liberty tactics over here, guys. We blink into the main, and then we force field our opponent inside of his own main. Forces a recall. We'll get him a couple probes. I think that's kind of about it. It's a lot of barking, but very little biting, if you ask me. I actually think SKillous took a lot of damage making all of this happen. He's lost 18 probes to Adepts and Phoenixes. Ay caramba. Blinks back into the main base. He is at least going up to 3 bases. I don't see what we get done here. The only thing you can get done with this kind of stuff is that you force your opponent to keep their Phoenixes at home. If that's the strategy, sure. But these Phoenixes are kind of low on HP. So if I was SKillous, I would invite them to harass me while I am actually defending. Belgium is good at the football stuff. They're not actually. They're a disaster, Anna. Belgium, I'll be the first to admit it, had a really good generation. And they had a very good shot at winning something in 2012, 2014, 16, 18, 20. But they just didn't. They sucked. And now I think they'll be stuck in no man's land forever. SKillous kills the Phoenix, but has lost 5 more probes. And 23 workers in an 8-minute game. Obviously, out of the 3 games, I think this one looks the best by far for SKillous. But it honestly says a lot more about the other 2 than this one. Now, Zealot Archon against Zealot Archon. Astrea small upgrade advantage. The Immortals are great against the Stalkers. It should not have a very big impact on Zealot Archon battles. It's not like they're ever bad, but there are moments where they just don't really return the amount of money you've put into getting these. But since Astrea opened up with Phoenixes, he obviously had to get Immortals to stabilize. You're going to Vancouver? I have never been. But Canada's awesome. I rate Toronto very high, as I think it's... At least when I was there, it was very safe, beautiful, fun. I think Montreal is amazing. And I think Quebec City is also amazing. I'm sure one day we'll make it to Vancouver. Because I like Seattle. I've been to Seattle, which is, I guess, almost the same. Just different country and slightly further south. I'll make it to Vancouver one day. I'm sure I'll like it. Yeah, I think Toronto is very cool. It's a great city. For Starcraft events, it was absolutely one of the best places. All the SE events we ever had in Toronto and Montreal, just nothing but good things to say. People were fun, cities were fun, crowds were awesome. It was great times. Astrea has 15 less workers, but 18 army supply more. A little bit of that army supply is in 2 phoenixes. That shouldn't have a very big impact. SKillous should be able to hold this, right? Oh, please do not lose all your stalkers like that, or at least don't even lose a couple. I want to say I think SKillous should be able to hold, but I am starting to get worried though, because +2 is done for Astrea and he's got 4 immortals. And SKillous has invested in a second Robo and a Robo Bay. Disruptors in PvP, I still want to believe. Astrea forgets about those 2 phoenixes. Shameful, by the way. Doesn't he know that that's a $10 penalty on this stream? It's a shame, Astrea. We'll donate it to a very good cause, mate. Sets up the War Prism in a good spot. SKillous wants to take this fight even before the Disruptors are here, as he does warp in a couple of his own zealots at the top. He is down an upgrade. I think it's a little bit risky to take it. Here comes that Nova. Nice hot pickup by Astrea. Oh no. SKillous. Where's the other Nova? I feel like we only fired one though. That was a bad fight, guys. Like 10 seconds before his own +2 was done, walking into a superior concave. That was not the fight. That was not the fight for SKillous, as he ends up losing his 4th base, lost 12 workers. The good news is he's got Disruptors, and he can try again. The bad news is Astrea is now up a base. I do really like 4 Disruptors against this army. The War Prism of Astrea sneaks into main. Astrea turns around like he's Liquid Clem, and he guns down 2 of those Disruptors. That's big. As the War Prism is in the main base, SKillous hits us with the recall immediately. Can we limit the damage here? With 2 Archons and a Stalker. Can he snipe that Prism? No. Can we say... Okay, that's a very good Nova, but he does lose another Disruptor. SKillous is doing better now, but I'm afraid it's just a little bit too late, right? He lost all those workers, he lost the Nexus. Chasing down this army with the War Prism. Oh my goodness, SKillous' War Prism is still... Excuse me, Astrea's War Prism is still going strong in the main base of SKillous. And I don't think we really have an answer for these Zealots. One Disruptor fires a shot, gets a couple of the Zealots, but 15 additional workers going down on top of all the workers we already lost. Robo getting sniped. And this is never where you want to be as Disruptor player, guys. You don't want to be chasing Zealots in your own main, being down a base, being down in upgrades. If SKillous could resume this game from replay, and you just wait a little bit here, you wait until your Disruptors are here, you wait until your own +2 is done, you take a much better fight. Maybe you can't wait for +2, but you can definitely wait for the 2 Disruptors. This wasn't meant to be. Even with the Phoenix opening, the man from San Diego gets it done. He beat MaxPax last Monday. He beats SKillous 3-0 tonight. A bit of a PvP PTR clinic by Astrea. Damn. Did not think that he could just 3-0 SKillous like that. But he really did. And that will do it then for the Big Brain Bouts tonight. And that will do it for my stream today. I did have fun. I thought we saw a couple of very good games. Obviously the highlight was Young Yakov against Art. We had some fun with Upper 3 against Alex, even though it was painful, but I guess that's what it often is when you watch Upper 3. I don't know. I had a good time. It's not the longest night of Starcraft ever, not the most dramatic series ever, but I still think we had some good games, funny moments. We had some good discussions. We had nice people stopping by. So I think in the end, we won. I'm happy. I hope Basilisk is happy. Of course, we're going to do it again next Friday. That will be our final Friday before Home Story Cup. So probably it will be Home Story Cup themed. Maybe 8 players that go to Home Story Cup or 8 players that don't go to Home Story Cup. It's one of the two. Either we give love to 8 guys that don't go to HSC, or we just invite 8 players that do go to HSC to maybe build up a bit of a story coming into the weekend. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I will cook something up on Tuesday and we'll try to make it fun. Or a mix of the two. 4 Home Story Cup players against 4 non-Home Story Cup players. Yeah, we can do that too. The world is ours, mate. The world is my oyster on the Friday night. We'll do our best. Thank you guys all for stopping by. We'll settle that prediction and that will be it for me. I might play a tiny bit of Deadlock later tonight off stream. So if you guys are in the Discord, feel free. Obviously, if you have questions about Home Story Cup, feel free to ask in Discord. I'll gladly help out. Stay tuned for updates on the Monday night. I promise there will be Monday night Starcraft. Just don't really know how it's going to look yet. You guys all believed in Astrea. And Astrea crushed. Home Story Cup starts 29 November. 29 November, 30 November, 1st of December. A lot of people will meet up on the Thursday. 4-4 predictions guessed. Easy. Congrats, mate. We'll make it more difficult next Monday or next Friday.